There we go. Good evening. Welcome to Falls from Iron. I'm Gatesy, as I'm sure you're well aware. Unfortunately, due to work, as those of you that are aware, my normal co-host, my co-pilot, my wingman, normally here to assist me on the pre-match show. Unfortunately, because Boris said yesterday people could go back into pubs, and as those of you that have been watching us for a while know, he's a manager of a pub, so things have got a little bit out of hands to the pump. So there you go. Anyway, I've got a substitute in. Ladies and gentlemen, making his long-awaited return to Forge from Iron, I'd like to introduce to you Mr. Andy Miles. How are you, sir?
Hello, mate. I'm very well. I feel a lot better after Everton's result, and obviously catching up with you and Duke on Sunday. I'm a lot more calm than what I was on Sunday. But no, I'm doing well. But just adjusting to waking up early, being in for London for 7 a.m. So it's a adjust to the system. But no, apart from that, mate, I'm all good. Good to be back.
Good. And Richard is in the chat. Richard, good evening to you, sir. I hope you're well. Yes, we got the shirts. Duke's got one as well, and mine has Gatesy on it, and the number 10. And Duke's one says the Duke with the number 3. So there you go. If you want one, if Jake wants one, let us know. And I'll send you an email. I'll let you know where we got it from. And get yourself one. Freshfield has jumped in. Evening, Gatesy. Evening, Andy. Evening, all. Yeah, nice shirt. There you go.
I got the memo. Exclusive. I got the same colour.
Have you got your one and order, Milesy?
No, me and Duke will decide on the colour. I'm going for the black one. I haven't ordered it yet. It's because Duke gets more discounts, so we're going to order them together.
Yeah. Fair enough, Skeet. No worries. Right. Sitting in the green room, waiting very patiently. Yes, it is Freshfield. It is baseball. Yeah. Is, first of all, Steve 50. How are you, sir?
I'm very good, thanks, Gatesy. Thank you for having me on again. I hope everyone's well. And send me a link on this shirt if we're getting Forge from Iron shirts. I've got to get one, really.
Let's do it.
So,
yeah. Maybe we should get a merchandise store.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Well, as Andy says, we are massive.
We are. And finally, to complete the quartet of people on Forge from Iron tonight, we have all the way from the Emerald Isle. It is Mr. Cathal McKernan. How are you, sir?
I'm good. Good, thanks. I might get myself one of those shirts as well. Feck it, may as well. I think we go all out.
Yeah, let's do it. I'll tell you what, because it took a couple of weeks for this to turn up. Oh, and the one thing that Duke didn't get, and I did, I was quite lucky with this because he ordered his one the day before mine, if I remember correctly, and then I ordered it obviously the next day, and I said to him, "Oh, did you get this?" And he went, "Oh, no, I didn't." The one difference between his shirt and mine, don't know if you can see that.
Oh yeah,
the patch.
The Forge from Iron logo.
Oh.
There you go. So yeah, we'll get a few more of them made up. So if any of you guys want one and want to go strutting around looking like Babe Ruth from the East End of London, you're more than welcome. So we got a few people in the comments. Obviously, we've said hello to Richard and Freshfielder. We've had Alex in the chat. He's obviously had one of his comments I've put up there. Foshizi as well. Obviously, he's got the comment there. He says he wants a shirt. Got Mark in. How you doing, Mark? Obviously, those of you that watch our season review, Hammer Time of Our Lives, and that, if you don't know what we're on about, is usually on 8 o'clock in the evening on a Thursday. So if any of you guys that are watching don't know what this is all about, please do join us. This season we are 93, 94, isn't it, Milesy?
That's correct.
Yeah. So it's our first
back in the big time
Premier League. Yeah.
Back in the big time.
Yeah. And obviously Kent's in there as well. And yes, he did, Kent. I've seen it. I know that Cathal has his camera off, so
mullet.
most of you don't know what he looks like, but I do. And yeah, he looks in good shape, doesn't you, mate?
Oh, it's beautiful.
Yeah, it
I'm
is.
I'm lying in bed here, so I don't think I should turn the camera on, but in case he can send all the pictures.
I said to him earlier, I said that I bet that the queue at the barbers was interesting, but yeah, it wasn't that bad actually, as it turned out, for reasons that I won't go into. But yeah,
was there more than one person in there? Was there more than one person in there though? Or did you know when you always get that one person who goes, "Oh, he's having everything done, isn't he?" Do you know when you're just behind him, he's like, oh.
Having the ears, having the nose hairs done, being singed, waxed, all of that. Turkish shave.
This is why you get a personal lad. You appointment based. You don't have to mess about with any of that. You get your time. You know when you have it done.
Yes. Right. Shall we get down to business, gentlemen? We've had a little bit of small talk and we're nearly 7 minutes in. So shall we get down to it?
Why not?
Small matter tomorrow, ladies and gentlemen. Our second last game, or penultimate, our penultimate Premier League game against West Bromwich Albion. Relegated West Bromwich Albion. I can't believe it. Big Sam's got his first relegation of the season on his CV, lads, in his managerial career. How tragic!
We shed a tear for him.
I'm not too sure that's
very sincere.
That's on the level, is it?
It's very sincere.
I think, to be honest, as much as I can't stand the guy, I can't take nothing away from him from what he done for West Ham for what was it, 3 and a bit. Without him, I don't think any other.
Oh, is he frozen up?
I'm on my back.
There.
Oh,
yeah,
there
you're
he
back
goes.
there.
Sorry, don't know what happened there.
No, that's all right, mate. Don't worry.
Don't
This
know where
is IT specialist Andy Miles.
I'm working in the background. I'm working in the background.
He's multitasking, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, no. Sorry, I can't remember what I was saying now. But no, for what he done, you can't take nothing away what he done in the West Ham.
He got us promoted, and he got us 3 seasons in the Premier League. Once he got us promoted, yes, the football was not the West Ham way, and he didn't endear himself to the fans an awful lot of time by making comments like, "Well, what's the West Ham way?" and things like that, and cupping his ears to the crowd. Yeah, that doesn't make you sort of flavour of the month with the West Ham faithful.
But
he did his job.
He got some great results though. I can remember obviously Tottenham 3-0 away. Yeah, 3-0 away. Another one what springs to mind, the Chelsea win at home, 3-1. So yeah, no.
Correct me if I'm wrong. The last season he was with us, we were second on Christmas Day, weren't we?
Yeah, I think we might have been 4th or something. We were in the top 4.
Yeah.
But, remember Stuart Downing at Cam? He had moved Stuart Downing because he had lost a step of pace. He had moved him from the wing into the centre, and he was an absolute baller for half a season. And Valencia and Sacco.
He played a diamond, didn't he? In midfield, he was at the tip of the diamond, wasn't he?
He was at the tip with Alex Song behind him. And sort of Kiyate and Noble on the other side. We were playing some lovely football back then. Like I don't have as big a hatred for Sam as a lot of people because I was younger, sort of. And he was the first manager I probably got to see properly that I can, when you have a bit of knowledge of football when you're sort of that age. And I loved that season, but it went downhill quickly enough.
Yeah, no, and in my opinion, sorry, Gatesy, Kevin Nolan. I don't know whether anyone saw that interview with Kevin Nolan and Mark Noble, 20 minutes. What's been uploaded this week, and that just proves it's a 20-minute video when it's just him and Gnome sitting down, basically having a coffee and talking, and that just proves what it's like. And obviously they gave him a bit of banter and stuff like that, and you can see what a influence he was going to have, in my opinion. As soon as he announced, I knew he was going to be a success, and you can tell he's learned a lot from Big Sam. So we're taking the benefits from that.
It shows you how big he's been on the team as well since coming in. We've been good since Noel. Remember, it was Nolan. It was when, coincidentally, I know it could just be a coincidence, but when Kevin Nolan came in, is when we've been playing good football since then. It was all that sort of lockdown period. I'd say we're going positive on the record since lockdown, and that's good timing for someone like him coming in. I'd say he's been a massive boost in the back room.
Yeah, Steve, West Brom's obviously gone down the trapdoor, but as we were just discussing, Big Sam, what are your thoughts on his time at West Ham? Was he a bit of a pantomime villain in your book? Steve? Someone else has dropped out.
We're doing well.
We're doing really well. Never mind. Shall I get the graphics up, ladies and gentlemen? Show of hands.
Go on then.
Yay.
Go on then.
Right,
go on ahead.
Let's do it. Okay, I'm just going to take Alex. I'm just going to take your comment down. I do agree with that. I don't think that this will be an easy task. I've got to say, and I do agree with Mark's comment as well. I do remember when this season, this fixture was. Oh, Grady Diangana, Julian Dix, Slaven Bilic. It'd be just our luck to go into this fixture, needing to get 3 points to stay in the Premier League, blah, blah, blah. Nothing of the sort. Nothing of the sort. Anyway, I'll go full screen. So this is the team that I this morning went with that I believe is very likely to be taking to the pitch at the Hawthorns, all things being equal. So Fabianski in goal. And then a back four from left to right of Cresswell, Ogbonna, Dawson, Soufal. Although it could be that Diop maybe comes in. Who knows? Like I say, this is just me making a prediction. It may be accurate. It may be inaccurate, but we'll see. And so we got Declan Rice and Thomas Soucek as the two sitting midfielders. Then the attacking midfielders, I believe, will be Saeed Benrahma on the left, Jesse Lingard in the middle, and Jared Bowen on the right. Again, you could make a case. Could it be Benrahma, Lingard, Fornals? Could it be Bowen, Lingard, whoever, whatever? I personally think that because of his goal largely, that Saeed Benrahma will get a start. And it will be Bowen and Lingard alongside him. But, take your pick. And then up front, fitness permitting, obviously, we've got Michail Antonio. So, gents, pick the bones out of that.
Who's going first?
I'll let Cathal go.
Oh, no, sure, I'll go.
Okay.
You see, we've a lot of selections to go through. Like, I'd be happy with a lot of teams. I'm not too picky. I really just want us to go out there and get the results. I'm not too picky with what we're choosing. Like, I'd have no issue with that team going out. I think against West Brom, I don't think Kyle Bartley's great, but he's strong. And I think Sami Ajayi is a very good centre-back. He's someone I sort of like. I think he's very solid. And I don't think there's any point sort of doing the Antonio to bully two centre-backs. I think they'd be able to handle him. I think maybe slip Lingard up top, sort of, in a false nine, just have him in there. Maybe Antonio on the bench for this, and he can come on if needed for impact and get someone like I think keep Pablo in it and keep the sort of just puts Pablo in Lingard's position there, and then pop Lingard up into Antonio's, and I think that's that could do the job. But there'll always be, with my choice, there'll always be Antonio on the bench to come on if you needed him.
Yeah, no, it's fair. Some fair points you make there, Cathal. Over to you, Milesy. Your thoughts? Is that the team you think that's going to take to the pitch, or do you see another lineup possibly that David Moyes is going to go with?
I think Diop's coming in personally.
Okay.
In my opinion,
Dawson or
Dawson.
another. Okay.
Dawson. I know. I don't know who you can say blame for the last goal at Brighton. You can probably blame Soufal and Dawson, but the fact that people like Pereira who are very, very quick players, and if we're going to be playing, they're going to be playing very counter-attacking football, and I think we'll need a bit of pace to get it out of Jal. Me personally, I would like to go free at the back tomorrow because I think we will have more involved, and what that will mean is, I would drop Antonio tomorrow if this is just me. I'm not saying Moyes will, and I would go 3-4-3 with four. The only change would be Ben Rama in for Antonio, and have Lingard, Ben Rama, and Bowen as a alternating three, and have Fornals in there to protect going forward. But that's what I would like to do. But no, if that team was, I would be happy with that. But that's just my preference. What I would pick.
So who would be, if you had that front three, who would be the central of those three, or would you just say, just interchange, flow around?
It will be Lingard, but I'll let them switch around. I'll remember.
When Antonio didn't play, we did that. We did that sort of alternating sort of weave thing. They were just wherever there's space, someone will make it.
I think it was Leicester, wasn't it? Leicester was the prime example. Leicester just didn't know how to deal with us, did they? When we played
just
that
free
system.
flowing, because you couldn't choose who you were marking. It was just sort of three nimble lads choosing wherever there was space, and one would drift off, and the other could sort of get into the space and in behind. We need to take advantage of sort of teams by doing things like that, because lumping it up to Antonio isn't going to work in every game, and we've seen that.
Yeah, no, and with Antonio as well, we've played a game once a week for the last 4 weeks since he's been 3 weeks he's been back. So if my mind's all messed up. What was it? 2 weeks, 3 weeks, but whatever it is, I would rather save Antonio for the last game of the season than tomorrow. Southampton's more of a tougher game in my opinion.
Steve, if I bring it over to you, and we've obviously just been talking about him, and Brew makes the comment. I'm just going to bring it back up for you, Steve, making the point about Antonio being very poor in the last game, keeps distancing himself out in certain games, and also goes on to make the point about him drifting out to the wing, which I noticed him doing quite a lot in that game, which I think for a central striker is less than ideal. What are your thoughts? Do you think that's the team to go with at the Hawthorns, or do you think Antonio's place is up for grabs, or what are your thoughts?
I'd start with it, but I don't know how long I keep Antonio on for. That's the problem. See, I was chatting to my son today, and he said, "Well, we've got 19th and 17th to play. We've got to win both of those." And I said, "James, you haven't been supporting West Ham for 50 years. Anything could happen." It's going to be whether we like it or not. And I know there'll be lots of people out there screaming, shouting, we should beat West Brom. But look how the last 2 games have gone. We just can't break teams down. We haven't got... The last 2 games, we haven't had that creative spark. I would start with that, because I think there's a chance if the front few can get themselves together and actually make a pass to one another and not, pass it to the opposition. I mean, the classic, which game was it? We were 2-1 up. It was Burnley, wasn't it? And their goalkeeper was out of halfway, near the halfway line. We're on the break. We've got players all around. And who do we pass it to? Their goalkeeper. And he's miles off his line. I think we're in for a tough one tomorrow. We're either going to go there and absolutely hammer them, or we're going to get it's going to be scrappy. And I think, whatever you might think of him, he's quite a good tactician. He'll have seen the last 2 games, and that's how he'll play us. So I think we're in for a tough evening. And I think that team, if the forwards can get it together, are good enough to beat him. My concern, realistically, is Lingard and Antonio in that. It's not Ben Rama, because you throw him in, he's capable of anything. He can either be brilliant like he was against Burnley, or he can be awful. But you've got a chance with Brom doing something spectacular. But if Lingard and Antonio don't turn up and they don't knock the ball around properly in that front four, it's going to be tough. But then my other thought is, who do you bring in instead? What do you do instead, really? This team, that lineup has been successful most of the season. I think you go with that and see how we do, to be honest. But I'm not expecting a big win tomorrow night. If we get one, fantastic. But the pessimist in me thinks that it's going to be a dire game, that if we win it, we'll have really had to grind it out.
Yeah. Milesy, are you concerned by in the last 4 or 5 or so games, the drop off in form of Jesse Lingard?
No, I just think teams have realised how to play with him, and this is not just testing West Ham. This is testing Jesse Lingard. Teams have now realised you can't give him space. Allen, for example, Coleman. They're like little Yorkshire Terriers, aren't they? Just don't give them a moment's peace. But that's the reason why I would drop Antonio tomorrow, and having the fact that all of them can swap, and West Brom will struggle more dealing with Benrahma, Bowen, and Lingard than Antonio, because I always forget his name. He's very highly rated, the centre half. Is it Ajayi? Is that what Cathal said?
It's Ajayi. Yeah, very good.
Very great. And Bartley is exactly the same as Craig Dawson, old school centre half.
I'll help you out. There you go.
Yeah, there we go.
I don't think Bartley's Premier League level. I don't think he's that good. He can do all that sort of Brexit ball defending and all, but I don't think he's good enough. That's like Sammy Ajayi. I'd say he could stay in the Premier League and play at a much sort of higher level than West Brom.
No, absolutely, I agree. And the thing what worries me is the number 35 there. He's a player who I'll snap up straight away for next season for us.
He's at Celta, isn't he? Celta Vigo, or
no, he's a Galatasaray, I think. Or am I wrong?
I thought he was in Spain.
Maybe he was. I
thought it was Celta.
Maybe he played for Galatasaray. I do apologise, Gatesy.
He could have been. I'm just checking it out. Before we sort of make ourselves look like a bunch of tits. No, it is. He's on loan from Celta Vigo.
My apologies.
Okay, Lukushlu.
But even them three, so Maitland-Niles and Gallagher, I would take any of them three.
Yeah. They do have a decent squad. That's why God.
You seen this from Alex?
They are down to 10 men though, Man City.
Big Dan Burn.
Are they?
Go on, Dan Burn. Legend.
Yeah. Oh, hello. Who got sent off?
I don't know. They started off the second half.
João Cancelo.
Oh.
I don't think it was a red myself. I think it was one of those. It was a weird one. Like, you can see maybe by the rules it's a red, but like with a bit of context, maybe. I don't know.
Yeah.
But West Brom, they're probably not a Premier League team, like full out quality, but they're with sort of a tactically adept manager or someone with a bit of sort of flair to them. You could get a team like that taken. Maybe someone like Slaven Bilic or something like that could get a team like that taken, I think.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, looking at that team, chaps, if I come to Steve first off, now obviously this is a team that's been relegated. That's fine. But are there any players there or within the West Brom squad that you think that maybe we ought to be looking at?
I think Sam Johnson's decent in goal. People might disagree with that.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know an awful lot about the West Brom players, to be honest. I mean, as I've said before, my knowledge of other teams is somewhat scant because I'm largely disinterested in them.
Yep.
The only team I'm really interested in is the Hammers and what our players are doing, and it's a bit tunnel vision, but I've always been the same. The one thing I would say about the West Brom team is we've got to remember they ran Liverpool very close at the weekend. It was only a wonder goal by their keeper that won it for Liverpool. And, you know, I watched the game largely because I wanted West Brom to get a result. And also, there was a part of me that wanted West Brom to get something against Liverpool. There was a part of me that wanted them to be absolutely trounced so they'd be demoralised playing against us. They have got players who can play. I mean, I don't know them. I don't know them by name individually. I personally think Sam Johnson's decent in goal. But that is a team that can play, and they can play now because there's no pressure on them. What does it matter if they get stuck?
Yeah.
Or, you know, they can just go for it. We've got a lot riding on this game. Would I have some of those players? Probably the ones Milesy mentioned. They're good. But really, my focus is on tomorrow. And I look at that team, okay, man for man, you're not as good as us. But man for man, you were nowhere near as good as Liverpool. And if Alisson hadn't popped up and got a goal, Liverpool got a draw.
Yeah.
You know, we're very quick to say, oh, we should beat these teams. But I think we need to put into context sometimes what these teams are doing against other teams that are better than us. And yeah, we'll just have to see, to be honest. But transferring which players I want, I don't really know. You know, I watch players in a West Ham shirt, and that's really, you know, the person you wanted to ask that question to is my son James. He would know. But yeah, the only one I can say is Sam Johnson, really, because I do think he needs some competition for Fab.
Well, Mark clearly agrees with you, Steve, because he's put a comment here. Sam Johnston highly likely to be sold this summer. Not really watched him closely, but would welcome a serious challenger to Fabianski next season. The only thing I would say to that, Mark, is I agree. I think it makes sense to get the goalkeeper that's going to replace Fabianski long term in now, so that there's like a soft transfer of power, if you will. However, I don't think that that's what's going to happen. I think that they're going to stick with the status quo at the minute. They're probably going to stick with Fabianski as the number one, and they'll probably muddle along with Randolph, Martin, Trott, maybe even possibly bringing through Anang into the first team squad. I don't know. And just basically sort of keeping their fingers crossed that they can get as close to 38 Premier League games out of Fabianski as possible. But Cathal, over to you, mate. Your thoughts on that West Brom team. Although before you do, the one thing I should say, when I did that graphic this morning, and I then watched Gio doing his Patreon's video, and he made a comment that Sam Allardyce has apparently said that Grady Diangana will play tomorrow. So obviously, I'd already done this graphic by the time I heard that. So it may well be that Diangana plays, but either way, your thoughts on that team and where the dangers lie.
Yeah, well, Diangana, we all know he's quality. He hasn't sort of been on the form recently, but he can do a job, and we all know that. But I think someone like Vladimir Coufal will be perfect for him. He's not blisteringly quick. He has that sort of burst of speed, and he's really good dribbling skills. But I think Coufal could do a job on him if he was to play. As I said, Semi Ajayi, very good centre back. I'd take him. I think he might be turning 28 this year. I'd take him just for depth if you get him for 6 or 7 million. Scores goals. I was just looking at his thing there. 2 seasons at Rotherham, scored 11 goals from centre back, and then in his 2 seasons with West Brom so far, he scored seven goals, and then he scored 1 goal in 3 games for Dartford as well. So I think he'd be a good player to get if he's coming on the cheap. They're sort of the triangle in the midfield there is very good. I think Yok Shulu is a very solid midfielder, sort of
He's
no
looked
nonsense,
impressive,
but
hasn't he?
He's very impressive, and so is the Diagna or however his name is pronounced up front. He's been very good since coming into them. Or Diang, yeah. He's been solid since coming in. I remember when he came in, I looked at his stats, and sort of he's odd. He's 29 now, but he hasn't played a lot of football in his career, like a lot of game time. If I can just get it up now. He hasn't played a lot of football, and he scored goals. where he has played. But he'd be solid backup if you get him in for cheap.
Yeah.
But I don't think we'd go for him anyway. But I think Pereira is a really good player. If we weren't to get Lingard, he'd be a really good target to go in for. And he's just lovely footballer to watch. He's just he has that Brazilian flair to him that you want out of a player, sort of what we wanted from Anderson, and just the confidence got to him.
Yeah, no, good points. Milesy, over to you.
Yeah, I'm not going to lie, Gatesy. I fear Grady.
West Brom team. Your thoughts on that? Anyone there that you think? Yep.
Yeah, Pereira and Grady for me, and Maitland-Niles. For me, they're the danger. I'm a very like what everyone said. I just fear them on the counter attack. We won't beat them on set pieces, and that's really not been our game for the last few weeks either. They're a very big side, but no, they've got a very good set of players. Pereira, especially, I would take in a heartbeat. You wouldn't have to tell me twice to get him in the squad. He's got that bit of magic, and he sort of. I'm trying to think of a sort of a player like over the last few years. He sort of reminds me of. Do you remember Zenden? Played for Chelsea, Liverpool. That's the sort of player who reminds me. Very tricky and can beat a player with a bit of pace. And I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's because I'm left-footed as well, but I just love a left-footed, like skillful player. I don't know what it is. I don't know if
and this isn't sort of like no, I suppose it is football related. Well, certainly, I'll tell you what, in cricket, when I watch games of cricket, I don't know what it is, but when I see a left-handed batsman, it just looks more elegant. I don't know why. Maybe it's because I'm right-handed. And
us left-handers we're a special breed, Gatesy.
Yeah, and I think actually sort of like when I stop and think about it, it's probably, when I see someone driving it, pure sort of like clean strike, left-footed, for some strange reason, I think it looks more aesthetically pleasing. I have no idea why. I really don't. It makes no sense. But it
can be painful for getting clubs though when you're playing golf. Anyway, I know that for sure.
Oh yeah, my lad's a lefty, and he's taken after my side of the family. On my mother's side of the family, I'm the only right-handed person. But no, he skipped a generation. It's gone to James, and I keep dragging him down to the driving range. But trying to get him some quality golf gear or quality golf clubs is really difficult at a price that is, reasonable. Because he's a lefty, and I keep teasing him that he's cack-handed, but but you watch him play rugby, you watch him play football, you watch him play anything, and he just looks elegant. Same with the golf swing, left-handed golf swing looks lovely.
Yeah. Can I ask a question, Steve?
Yeah.
Send him down to B&Q and ask him to get some left-handed screwdrivers.
So I think with James, he'd probably fall for that.
Do it. Let us know. Keep us informed. Those of you that are in the live chat, do us a favour. Get us in your score predictions and your goal scorers. Let's go. Oh, hang on. What's happened here? Chelsea have scored. And City are losing. Yeah, I know that. Yeah.
Come on.
So, maybe there is a God after all. Right.
Sorry.
Okay. No, that's fine, mate. That's fine. Okay, so as I say, guys in the live chat, give us your score predictions and your goal scorers, and I'm just going to move on to the next little nugget of information for us to get in our teeth into, gentlemen. That is our historic head-to-head record against this team. Yeah, and do you know something? When we did the Brighton one, it was completely symmetrical. It was one drawn, lost, and it was all 18. Obviously, it's now 18, 19, 18 since the game. But this is quite symmetrical as well. Games won 41, games drawn 25, games lost 41. So no team has a sort of like a greater win record than the other. It's quite interesting.
Gatesy, I remember in the Championship when we played them, we just couldn't beat them. Do you remember like when we went down and stuff like that, and you just
Do you
like,
remember
oh,
when they had Gary Megson as the manager?
Oh, don't.
And I think he was the manager. I remember this. I don't know if you guys or Cathal won't because he's a baby.
Yeah.
But we played. I don't know if it was in the Championship or the Premier League, and someone in the chat will probably tell me. I've got a funny feeling it was Championship. We was 3-0 up at Upton Park, and we lost 4-3.
Yeah.
That was absolutely awful.
Do you know who it was? It was always the same blooming players. It was that who's the little Welsh striker, Earnshaw and Horsfield.
Oh yes,
them two. I hated them with a passion. and of course, I think he's a great manager, and obviously he gets mentioned every week because he's a good manager as well on Soccer AM. Darren Moore, I remember him. He was an absolute unit as a centre half for them. But no, to be honest, I don't actually have an issue with West Brom. I know they're our bogey side, but they do things well. They remind me of Norwich. They know they're not gonna. They're a yo-yo club, aren't they?
They're a likable team. Norwich are really likable as well. They're just well, it doesn't even seem like, I know they're sort of rivals with Ipswich, but Norwich don't seem like a team. You never see them having a rival sort of game in the Premier League, maybe because they just seem like a nice team.
I suppose a bit like teams like QPR and Fulham.
Yeah. Fulham always seem like the nice lads as well.
And it's just a record, like you said, that sort of proves. I know it goes back quite a few. I'm just trying to think roughly, probably how much is actually recent, Gatesy. It was probably over that. Probably played at least 20 games over the last 15 years at least.
Because I'd say so in all competitions.
But no, they're just I've never had an issue with them. It's just their record, but it just proves what some teams are like. Like it's basically like Brighton, isn't it? It's like what Brighton are, to us. Where some teams you just struggle to break down. But no, if I had to pick tomorrow, I still feel confident. I think we're going to get the job done, and I think the Brighton result gave the team a bit of a kick up the backside, so to speak. I think they've realised now it's not going to be a pushover, and I think it will be Ben Rama's game tomorrow. If Ben Rama's ticking, he could be the difference.
Yeah.
Trouble is though, I think we have looked knackered in the last few games. I think the squad's just caught up with us, and that's a problem you can't quickly overcome. If they are genuinely fatigued, all the brilliant performances are going to be dulled a bit because they're tired. And I watched some of our players and I thought, you're giving it everything you've got, but you're running on empty. And that could be an issue tomorrow night for me.
Yeah, we did the
Bielsa burnout. It's been a fairly truncated
season,
hasn't it? I mean, we obviously only had a 6-week break between the previous season and this, and it's just been, crazy busy, hasn't it? I mean, it's no real surprise that there are players out there that are running on fumes, I guess.
Yeah.
So.
Tomorrow I'm going to say it's going to go 1-0 either way, because I don't know.
You're expecting a bit of an arm wrestle, are you?
I am indeed. On a slightly more amusing note, when you called Cathal a youngster, I suddenly realised my eldest son is older than Cathal, so that makes me feel really old. Thanks, guys.
Anytime, Steve.
Sorry, mate.
It's kind of you chaps. It's nice to know who your friends are. But
come again.
It's going to be a really tight, ugly game. I really do. Because Sam will go out to spoil it. And he is damn good at doing that.
He's been given a blueprint, hasn't he, Steve? The previous couple of games, the Chelsea game, the Everton game, the Brighton game. We've come off, obviously not against Brighton. We weren't second best. We got parity at least. But in terms of how they set up, it was pretty similar amongst those teams, wasn't it? As in, if there's a manager that can set his team to play that sort of football, it's Sam Allardyce, isn't it?
Absolutely. And, I have full respect for what he does. I mean, do I like him or not like him? I'm completely neutral. Like I am on most things like this. You've got to really be a twit to annoy me. But you have to respect what he's done. That's the way he's done it all his career. He has put out teams that are gritty, that make it difficult. And that's what we're going to face tomorrow night. And the last two games, we've come up against teams that have decided to be gritty and difficult, and we haven't been able to beat them. Southampton, I've got more hope for because I think Southampton will be a bit more open. And if
they've hit a bit of form, haven't they, Steve?
They have. It's really annoying, isn't it? Mind you,
they
always
when we seem to play a team.
Yeah, when I watched it tonight, they gave away an awful goal. Bamford scored it, and they were losing. So hope springs eternal, as they say. But I don't want to be negative because I think we can win it, and I would hope we will win it with the players we've got. But it's going to be damn difficult. And anybody who thinks we're going to walk into that and it's going to be a breeze, I think will be sorely disappointed. On the other hand, if I am completely wrong, which is very possible, I'll be delighted. But yeah.
So you're going 1-0, but you're not too sure which way.
Who's the goal scorer, Steve?
Well, Sod's Law, if it's West Brom who win it, it will be Dean Garner.
Oh, no.
I've seen it too often, Gatesy, over the years.
Yeah.
Too often it has to be Dean Garner. If we win, I think...
Thanks, Alex.
I think Fornells might get it.
Okay.
I mean, Fornells can't... James and I have a running joke. Oh, Fornells has got a chance. Well, that's not going anywhere, and we just laugh about it.
That's a back pass.
Yeah, because Fornells, let's face it, he's a fantastic player. I love Fornells to bits, but his finishing woeful. Apart from that near blinder he scored that was just tipped over the bar. You know, you show Fornells a goal and he goes, "What's that?"
He has good accuracy with it. It's just he hits a P-roller every time.
Yeah,
he gets them in like the right area.
Powerful, is it?
It's just whatever way his technique is at kicking the ball. He just sort of, even the goals he has scored, they're all little light sort of. He just gets it around the keeper. It's gone by them. But it's one like I don't get disappointed when he misses because I don't really expect him to score. It's more a big hooray when he does.
Well, it's more of a sit down and take a deep breath because you're in shock, isn't it? But it would be very West Ham for Fornells to get the winner that guarantees us European football. So either Dean Garner scores and breaks all our hearts, or Fornells goes and sends us to hospital with shock, and we win. That's how I see it going.
Yeah. I like Pablo Fornells. I think he's a hard-working, energetic. He covers every blade of grass. You can't ever fault him.
He's always smiling.
Effort, yeah, and he seems to have bought into West Ham and in terms of sort of like a team and in terms of the supporter base by and large. I think a lot of the criticism he gets is some of it's valid, like the shooting. His shooting's not the best. I say that if Pablo Fornells had have been on the grassy knoll in 1963, President Kennedy would still be alive. But
lots of spectators would be dead.
Yeah. But no, he's I think he's a good player, and I like Pablo Fornells, but I know he's quite a polarizing character, isn't he? But anyway, Cathal, over to you. Score prediction, goal scorers. What do you think?
I'll go for 2-0 win You see what teams have been getting at us in the last few games is they've been using a lot of pace to sort of, you see, all season we've had a real solid backline where we haven't been conceding a lot of through balls and in behind, sort of been beaten in behind through pace. And that's, if you have someone like Craig Dawson in the backline, that's always a threat. But they've pace in the sort of attacking midfield area, but in up front, I don't think they've a lot of pace, especially if they've someone like Cal Robson-Kanu up there. I don't think that would be as much a threat. I can see us holding it out. I can see a nice 2-0 win, or else just an absolute shithouse, horrible performance. Sam Allardyce-esque sort of stuff. For goal scorers, I'll back Benny to score. I think. Hopefully that sort of has given him a kick up the arse, and he sort of has that confidence in him now. To just get him on the pitch, and I think even if he isn't to score, he can do damage against a team like that. He can sort of get around them and just sort of play to his strengths. So I'll go for
not being funny. This is one of the worst backlines in the Premier League, in all honesty, isn't it? So
yeah, it is.
If this is this should be a game that's tailor made for him, isn't it?
Yeah, this is where he can prove it, and he has. I think might have been in the league or the FA Cup. He played against West Brom for Brentford, and he I think it was West Brom, maybe it was Fulham, but
the League Cup. The League Cup, it was against Fulham, wasn't it? When he'd done it.
Oh, was it Fulham? No, but he's good enough to play against that sort of quality of team. They're not amazing at the back. Just let him out there. He get him a goal, and I think Lingard needs to sort of. He hasn't been on the best of form, but he's tired. He hadn't played in bloody near 2 years, I suppose, before been thrown in and playing however many games in a row. He might be tired, but I think he'd be well up for it, and he wants to sort of prove himself. I know X has said he wants to stay and all, but he wants to sort of. He'd want to just sort of show sort of that he's grasping for European football with us, and he wants to stay with us. So I think he can go and get a goal as well. It's. I'm looking forward to watching it. Now I think I'll be bricking it before it, and especially after the last few games, it's been absolutely awful to watch. It's been horrible football. Like, it's been so just regurgitative, repetitive, horrible football. Just no flair to it. No one's grasping the bull by the horns. Like, they just need to go for it. And you can be as tired as you want, but when you have that goal of European football and you can say, all right, we've this game, we've 180 minutes of football to play. Adrenaline's going to kick in. You can't be tired. It doesn't matter. Just bloody go for it. Your legs will work. You're a fit footballer. You're made for this. Go for it. And that's what they need to do.
Do you think that with Jesse Lingard, that if we'd have had either European football already in the bag or it was beyond us, do you think he possibly gets dropped for this game on the basis of his previous couple of performances?
Performance-wise, yes, if he was a different player, but I know Moyes really likes Lingard, and he's a big impact on the squad, and even just he is very vocal. You can see that he is like sort of a captain-esque figure. We have a lot of them lads who are willing to talk. You don't really see as much of it out of maybe a Ben Rama when he's on, or a Bowen, but you see it out of someone like Lingard, Antonio, and like Cresswell. All them, they're leader sort of figures, and Lingard does a lot of talking. So even if he's not performed to the best, I think he does make it tick better, and I think someone like Moyes likes that. So I don't think Moyes would drop him.
Milesy, your thoughts?
Hello,
score prediction, goal scorers, any other business?
I'm going for 3-0.
Confident.
I just feel that Everton result has gave the team the confidence they needed after their results. I think that Everton result is not just for us, it's for Spurs as well, considering Spurs' fixtures. So I think everyone around us is feeling a little bit better. The goal scorers, I think Cresswell will score tomorrow. I've just got that feeling he's just gonna come up with a goal, mate. Free kick or shot from outside the box. Do you know when the one that springs to mind what he scored? Do you remember that Villa away a few seasons ago on Boxing Day? when he just hit
Yes, I
that ball,
do.
and something like that. I just feel that West Brom are going to not be closing us down quick enough, and that could invite players like Creswell to unleash a shot. And the other goal scorers, I think Jesse Lingard and Bowen will be the other goal scorers, but I feel Ben Ram will be heavily involved with 1 or 2 assists. I feel that. Like I said, I think the results going our way has really done us a favour. And do Tottenham play before us tomorrow? They do, don't
must
they?
Because we're an 8:15 kickoff.
Yeah, they're
so
6 o'clock.
Yeah.
So let's just say Villa get a result. Can you imagine more confidence that could be?
Oh.
So we've got the ascendancy. I'd prefer to be playing the last game out of the lot. We know exactly what we need to do, and we could. Who's to say that we're guaranteed European football? Who's Everton got tomorrow? I'm just checking now if someone doesn't know. Like Everton as well. Like this could be the perfect way to end the night. And like I said, West Brom are a very well drilled side, but the only thing I do fear is like what Fulham done tonight at Old Trafford. A lot of them players are playing for their Premier League career. They probably want the transfer, so they'll want to go out and prove and try and get the transfer done. But realistically, in my head, I'm saying 3-0, and in my heart, it's probably 70% saying 3-0. But I need to be confident. If any West Ham player who's watching, I know Fultron Mind's getting bigger. We believe in you. No,
we don't
it's psychological, mate. Yeah, yeah. No, I just feel confident. So yeah, that's what I'm going for before I change my mind.
We've just had this question coming from Mark. Thank you for this, Mark, because to be honest, I completely forgot about this. So I'm going to bat this around to you boys. I'll start with Milesy. Can you see that? He's asking the question: what impact do you think the crowd will have on West Brom? Because they're going to have, is it 10,000?
I think that could go in our favour. I don't think it will be 10, Gatesy. I think it's a sixth of your capacity. So that's why we've only got 10. Okay. It's not the maximum allowed in is 10,000, but it goes on the percentage. Like if you saw Bournemouth yesterday, they are 12 and they were only allowed 2, for example. I'll have to check, but no, I'm glad this has happened now. If this was before West Brom was safe, could be saved, I would feel it more. To be honest, I just think I think it will just be the season's pretty much done. But I think it'll probably be nice just for no disrespect, for a lot of the fans to say goodbye to players, because some of them they've probably never even seen, like Gallagher, for example.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Just to show their appreciation. But no, if I think if you look at today's results, it's not really affected it. Man United 1-1, Leeds beating Southampton 2-0. Obviously, Brighton beating Man City. I think the sending off was a bit of a killer, and Chelsea's 0-0. So you can't really. It's not like the home teams have all dramatically won. Do you know what I mean? If it was more, so out of the 5 games, if it was more 60% home team, you could probably say that. But for me, no. For us tomorrow, I don't think it will.
Cathal, your thoughts?
Yeah, I agree with what all Andy said there. I don't think it's going to make too huge of a difference. I think it's just sort of more a day out to see the football. They sort of know there's no pressure on the team, and they're not going to be too disappointed if they win or lose. It's just maybe a nice day out to see the team when they're still in the Premier League, and I don't think we'll have too much of a impact on it, really.
And same question to you, Steve.
I don't think it'll make any difference at all. We know what we're going to do. We're going to go and try and do it. And whether people are there or not, they've still got to try and win the game. And they're professional footballers. You know, playing away from home is difficult. We all know that. But I don't think it makes any difference at all. I think, if anything, you might have a group of fairly disinterested West Brom fans there because they've been relegated and because of the season they've had, who don't really get that involved in the game. Yeah. Oh, and to answer somebody's question, do I have splinters? I guess that was from, Mark, does Steve 50 suffer from splinters? I'm assuming that's from sitting on the fence. No, Mark, what I actually suffer from is lots and lots of West Ham experience.
Yeah. You never know what's going to happen next, and I'm sure Mark is aware of that one.
And
in my opinion, to throw my 2 penneth out there on both Mark's question and my score prediction. So in terms of the impact the crowd will have, minimal. I won't say none. I think having 10% of the crowd there, and that's got to make a difference. I would suggest that's got to make a player feel a little bit more up for it. But they're not a very good team, which is why they're going straight back down to the Championship at the first time of asking. And again, they've got nothing to play for. I know you could use the thought process that, well, because the pressure's off, maybe they're going to play with a little bit more freedom than would otherwise be the case. But we need the result. Yeah. We need the result. No ifs, no buts. If we don't get 3 points tomorrow, I think that we're in serious trouble about getting European football of any description.
Even a draw?
A draw might be acceptable in terms of achieving European qualification, because I think we need 3 points, don't we, to get in?
Yeah, we can't go into the game looking for that, though. We have to.
Yeah,
I'm just thinking. I'm thinking like in our, like what the Brighton game was. We would have took a draw eventually. Do you know what I mean? Sorry,
obviously at 1-0 down at that point, 84 minutes and you're 1-0 down away from home against a team that you don't do that well against in your Premier League history. Yes, you'd absolutely would. But right here, right now, I think win at all costs, within fair means, of course. And I think we will. I think we're going to win this one 3-1. And somewhere along the line, I believe that Saeed Benrahma will score. And again, I'd said it many, many times along with Duke, that this is the game he's going to score his first goal, and he didn't, and he didn't, and he didn't, and it kept happening. And eventually, I'm sorry, but you do lose a little bit of confidence. You lose a little bit of heart. You've pinned your hopes on someone to achieve something. You've believed in them, and they don't do it. So I'm human. Eventually, you go, whatever. He's got his first goal. Fantastic. Long may that continue. And I hope that it does tomorrow. And I'm keeping my fingers crossed that was his Tevez moment. And a year from now, we can look back on that goal against Brighton and look at a volume of goals and assists and performances and go, yes, that was his Tevez moment. That was his breakthrough. 3-1 West Ham, and Benrahma will score one of the three, and he will have an impact on the game.
Gatesy, when we were talking at the pub, I don't know whether you mentioned it to Cathal and Steve, we were saying, do you reckon with Benrahma playing on the right, that could be the difference in him playing on the left? Because obviously he got the goal and he was obviously crossing balls in. I don't know what you boys... Do you reckon that could make a difference, gents?
Yeah, I do actually. Yeah. Yeah,
I think just get him on. we're in that attacking lineup. He's. I don't think it. He needs to sort of have an out and out position, if you know what I mean. Like, you don't need to sort of pigeonhole him into sort of you stay here. I think the way we play with that attacking, the three of them, whoever's up there at the three attacking midfielders, I think they do sort of weave in and out and sort of switch around. I know Benrahma hasn't spent a lot of time floating over to the right, but wherever he is, I think he's good. I just think he needs to get into the box more. Even I know he scored a long shot there, but what is it, 40-something shots? Majority of them have been from outside the box. If he gets the chances that sort of someone like Pablo Fornals gets into them positions, I think he'd score them more than someone like Pablo would. So he just needs to I don't expect it now. Over the summer, they need to work on that sort of stuff. He needs to get into the box more and have more opportunities.
Yeah.
But wherever we put him, I think he'll be good enough, and I think he'll perform tomorrow.
One last question.
Go on. Yep.
Oh, right. For just a quick answer, out of the front four, you're going through 1-on-1 on goal. Who would you rather have 1-on-1 with a goalkeeper out of the
not Pablo Fornals?
Why not?
Do you really want me to answer that question, Miles?
Okay, the front four. Who would you feel more confident of sliding the ball away?
Probably Lingard, yeah.
Yeah, Lingard. Mind you, to answer Cathal's point of Brom scoring more goals from the positions Fornals get.
Oh, it's gone.
Oh, he's back.
Back?
Sorry, you dropped out there, mate.
Yeah, I'm back. Sorry, you're back. Yeah, just I fancy next door's cat score more than Fornals from those positions. I mean, Fornals is woeful in those positions. No, I'd have either Lingard or Lingard. I think I'm going to be positive on this one.
Okay, I'm surprised none of you said Bowen. I feel more confident with Bowen.
I was thinking Bowen, to be honest, but I think Lingard shades it.
Okay, yeah, no, I was just thinking the amount. I just wanted to. I agree Lingard's quality, but like going for the amount, obviously Leicester going, for example, the Wolves at the start. I just feel more confident the way Bowen. He's just got that natural whip. Do you know what I mean? Of getting it far in the corner. But no, I just wanted you. That's the only thing I would edge it. But yeah, no, sorry, Gatesy, for the jumping in.
No, that's cool. No, that's absolutely fine. To be honest, I've forgotten what I was going to ask anyway, so it can't have been that important. And probably what will happen is I'll hit end broadcast and then I'll go, I remember what it was now. It's like when you walk into a room and you go into the room and you go, what did I come in here for? And you walk out and then you go, oh, hang on. Yeah, it was me glasses or it was a pair of slippers or something. I don't know.
Or what did the missus tell me I needed to do?
Yes, the amount of times I've got in trouble for that. Oh, mate. Funny story, right? Funny story. This is what happens on False Mind. We mainly talk football, but then all of a sudden someone will come up with a story, and it's usually me, that's nothing to do with football. But
I love it.
Whatever.
We kept it to an hour.
So 1 year, I'm in bed with my wife. Nothing funny. We're just in bed, going to sleep, and I'm drifting off. And all of a sudden, and this is like 11 o'clock at night or something, and I've turned around to her and gone, is tomorrow the such and such date and month? And she went, yes, like that. And the reason she went, yes, is because it was her birthday. Oh dear.
And you wake up nailed to the nearest wall.
My wife is very forgiving, a very kind-hearted lady, but I could tell when she said and how she said it.
What was the flowers like at the 24-hour garage gate, eh?
They were. No, I didn't. I went out when I got up, and she went to work, and I went to work, and I come back, and so she did have a card and a present on her birthday. I didn't forget her this year, but she knew that I'd forgotten until I asked her the question. Tomorrow is such and such a date, isn't it? And she was like, yes. And I'm like, shit. Nothing to do with football, guys, but just an amusing little story from my
and
world,
a shout out again for Duke's Pub. I know they're working hard when Duke sent us the voice note this morning. So another shout out to them. They're working their bollocks off. So well done to them.
That's where it is, ladies and gentlemen. If any of you are passing through the Dartford Borough and you're getting a little bit parched, you can now go in the pub. You can now go in the pub and maybe even see the big man himself. So if you're passing on through, that's the place to go, ladies and gentlemen. And go and say hello to Duke. Give him your love.
Pictures with him cost £10 as well if you're looking for them.
Yep. I think he does autographs. I think he's doing now, and
he does the custom
selfies.
Celebrity wishing you happy birthday. For what's that? £80 he said, wasn't it? £80 for a custom minute video. Was it 80?
I thought he said 80p.
Oh, my bad.
Yeah. Now, because he's not here tonight. Now, normally I do my reasons obligation. Yeah, I normally do my reasons to be cheerful, and a couple of times I've done it, and he's gone, "Why am I? That's not me being that's not gonna make me cheerful." And he tells me off because I try and put things up that are gonna make him smile. So, who wants to take the role of Duke? I suppose it's got to be you, Milesy, is it? Oh, hang on, what's happened?
It's finally 1-0. It's finally 1-0. The goal was disallowed, but now they've finally scored. Sorry. The one in the first half was disallowed.
All right. Okay.
Sorry.
Fair enough. That's all right. So, Milesy, I'll put you in the role of Duke. So, if any of these put West Brom in a favourable late, you've basically got to bollock me. Is that right?
Okay. Yeah. No, that's fine.
I'm fairly sure I've been quite good because recently we've had a good record against them. So, West Brom have won just 2 of their last 16 Premier League meetings with us, drawing 9, losing 5, and their wins were 1-0 in April 2014 and 4-2 in September 2016. Is that making you smile, Duke?
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
And you two boys, Cathal and
looking at that 4-2 gives me PTSD though. I actually remember that. That was an absolutely atrocious one. Oh God!
What was his name? Dorrance and Morrison turned into prime Javi and Iniesta that day.
Graham Dorrance, yeah.
Is that one of the first games at London Stadium? It would have been, wouldn't it, in September 2016?
It would have been,
yeah. It was actually part of that season. We probably had someone like Jonathan Caleri up front or Simone Zaza.
I must have erased it from my memory banks. It
you're bloody lucky. You're very lucky.
I remember the 4-2 defeat. Was it 4-2 against Watford? When we first got beat at London Stadium.
I think that was at the Hawthorns that game. I'm just checking, Gatesy, as you're doing that.
Oh, was it? Oh, right. No, that's fair enough. That's probably why I don't remember it.
Yeah, that's reasons to be cheerful, but I don't remember the 4-2 either.
No. Then, so we're all smiling with this one. I'm doing all right.
Yeah.
Okay, shall I move on to the next one?
Yeah.
So, Duke / Milesy. West Ham are looking to complete their first league double over West Brom since 2005-06. The Hammers are unbeaten in 4 against the Baggies, winning the last 2 in a row, the other 2 being draws. Are you smiling?
Yeah. And just to interrupt, before we were talking about the last game, it was at the Hawthorns and it was 4-2. The goal scorers were Chadley with 2, Rondon with 1, and James McLean. And Mikel Antonio and a Lanzini penalty. We had.
You should never let James McLean score in a game of football. That lad, oh God, is he a disaster?
Yeah, so
painful to watch.
So we had 23
I love him,
shots.
But like, he can't play football.
We had 23 shots in that game, and we only scored 2 goals. And West Brom had 8 and scored 4. So you can tell it was one of them days.
It was just a frustrating, horrible game. I remember it. And there's no worse fear than James McLean. He's literally one of the only international players you have a bit of hope for with us because we're that bad. And he's just
is he still at Stoke?
Yeah, he is. He's still at Stoke now, but he's no end product at all. He's sort of he's a lad who could just run strongly down the line, and that's about it.
I think they said he's a shit Andy Reid, wasn't it? That's what his chant was.
Oh, Fat Andy. Fat Andy's a legend. I actually played football. I actually played football with Fat Andy. I think it was his stepson. It wasn't his son. We were playing for the team, and he showed up to a training in a Forest jersey that said Reid on the back. And I went up to him. This is the first time ever meeting him. And I go, "Why on earth are you wearing a Fat Andy shirt?" And he's like, "Oh, it's me stepdad." And I walked away in a bit of shame there. But he's a class footballer. That lad could ping a ball.
I love Andy Reid.
Oh, Andy was a legend.
Didn't he get called a Teletubby?
Or whatever. Oh, Call him whatever.
What have they been called?
Fat Andy.
I'm
That's all
fairly
I
sure he was called Teletubby at one point.
Yeah, he's a
He
big
might
lad.
have even been in the Teletubbies. I don't know.
I
Should I move on to my next fact, Duke?
Sorry, I need the little headset like what Duke does. I think when I need to step in for him, I think it's not the same, is it?
I'll move on. So, West Brom have won their final home game in their last Premier League season, beating Spurs 1-0 in 2017-18. They've not done so in consecutive top-flight campaigns since a run of 3 between 1980-81 and 1982-83. Are we still smiling, gentlemen?
I'm fine. Anyone can beat Spurs, so it's fine. I'm confident.
Hello. Scott, you're late. You normally give me a telling off when I and a lot of the time, let's be fair, it's not me that does it, it's Duke. But I get blamed. I get the blame. I'm not always the button pusher, Scott, I should stress. And then you have the brass neck to turn up at 9:25 when we've been sitting here toiling away since 8:15 for your entertainment.
I don't even think it counts as evening anymore.
70 minutes late.
I don't think it even counts as evening. It's a good night at this stage, Scott.
Hang on. He's got his excuse in. Look at this. Just listen. You could watch it on your phone. You watch it on your phone, for goodness sake. We're in the year 2021. What's the matter with you, man? Anyway, so we're moving on to the next fact, Duke / Milesy. In case you're wondering, Scott, as I say, Duke's not here, so we've got Milesy in as a substitute who's basically Duke in disguise. So you're just going to have to use a little bit of your imagination, okay?
I thought that was Duke.
How many Guinnesses have you had, Cathal?
Not enough.
Hang on. He's turning around saying he wants to be back on furlough. Scott, you've been sitting on your ass getting paid 80% of your wages for doing nothing. All you had to do was sit there and watch Holmes Under the Hammer.
He was playing an awful lot of golf. In fairness to him, he was playing an awful lot of golf.
Oh, yes, he was, wasn't he?
He's getting ready for retirement.
That's so difficult on 80% of your wages. God's sakes. Boss tells me off for using my phone.
Just get a little headset like Duke's boy.
Yeah, just get a Bluetooth headset. They don't even know that you're doing it. Anyway, tactics. So I'll move on to the next one then. Just a little divergence.
For all the finest slacking off and work topics come to Forge from Iron.
West Ham are unbeaten in final Premier League away game in each of the last 4 seasons, winning 3 and drawing 1. We had lost our previous 8 such matches in the competition prior to this run. Are we smiling?
Yes.
That's positive, isn't it? That's positive, I think, or at least glass half full, if nothing else. I think there's one more, if I remember rightly. Here we go. West Brom are winless in their last 15 midweek, and they've quite kindly put here Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Like we couldn't work out what midweek meant, ladies and gentlemen. But there you go. Just in case you couldn't. Premier League games, drawing 5 and losing 10. Since beating Swansea 3-1 in December 2016. The Baggies have lost all 6 such games under Sam Allardyce by an aggregate score of 18-2. That's definitely positive, isn't it?
Yeah. I like you tonight, Gatesy. I'm loving the positivity.
Listen, we are massive. Oh, sorry, that's your line. I do apologise.
Go on, you can do it.
No, it's your line. It's your line.
We've had an honorary person say it every time, but now the man is back, so we have to pass the torch back to the real one.
Scott, yes, we're always confident. We're always confident. We are always optimistic on Forge from Iron. You know this, and this is why you keep coming back, because you love it here so much. Okay,
like a boomerang.
Now, I've already turned around and said I think it's going to be 3-1. And if you want to go back and watch it, God help you. I have turned around and said that I think that the confidence in Ben Rama's going to be a factor, and he's going to score one of the goals. And I hope that a year from now, we look back at the Brighton goal and go, that was his Tevez moment, because we can then look at his body of work from then to a year later. This is what I'm hoping. And look at the goals, look at the assists, look at the performances and go, that was his breakthrough moment. That was his Tevez, he's off moment. So, and all of us have said our score predictions. Steve, you said you weren't too sure, 1-0, but you're not too sure which way. What was your prediction again, Cathal? I'm trying to remember. I'm just filling Scott in.
2-0.
So he's gone 2-0, and Milesy, you went 3-0, didn't you?
Yes, I did, mate.
We're all super confident, Scott. We're all super confident, and yeah, listen, we like to try and be optimistic. You know, we're realistic, I think, but we like to try and be reasonably optimistic and a little bit daft, as you might have noticed.
Go on, Scott. What are you thinking?
Yeah, Scott, get us your score predictions in. Don't you be sitting on the fence, young man. You know, you don't get away with it. We want a score prediction from you, and we want goal scorers. Yeah, don't you be coming at us and sort of asking us what we think. Come on, we want your opinions. Remember, this is what we do. And he loves the predictions. So come on, give us your scores. Right, just real quick. Now, this was done before the game that's going on now, so it's slightly out of not out of date, but there you go. I'll just go full screen with that. This is as big as I can get.
Wow,
But this is the Premier League table as of before this game that's going on now kicked off. So obviously, we know City are top, United second, Leicester third, Chelsea fourth. As I say, this was before this one. So they're going to be on, 67 points if this stays as it is.
Yeah.
But that, that doesn't affect anything position. No, it will. So Leicester are going to go fourth, aren't they? Chelsea will jump into third. Leicester will drop down to fourth. And then it will be Liverpool, Tottenham, us, Leeds, Everton, Arsenal, Villa. Thoughts?
This is gonna go in our favour, seriously, gents. Especially if this result stays how it is with Chelsea, because Leicester know they've got to win to get top four, because Liverpool can catch them. So it's more and more stuff going in our favour, and I honestly think we're going to get the job done as well. Because look at Leeds, well played to Leeds. Sorry, that's amazing. Look where they are now.
Yeah.
But no, I'm feeling, like I said, I'm sticking to my guns. 3-0. We're going to get sick. Tottenham are going to be crying all over. So crying for the rest of the week, the rest of the summer, and we are fucking massive.
Always. Oh, look at another latecomer, Mr. Budden. Mr. Budden, hold on a minute. You start religiously every day, 12:30 on the button. We started here at 8:15. The time is now 33 minutes past 9. Young man, you need to get yourself a new watch. This is unacceptable. I'm only kidding, mate. I love you, really. You know that. But no, listen, we need to get the 3 points tomorrow. And I said that the last game, and I say that every game. Let's be honest about it. I say it every bloody game. We need to get the 3 points. But if we want European football, we need to get the 3 points. Don't we, gentlemen?
Yes, we are. And we're going to get it.
I like the confidence. And Russ, you're forgiven. I will forgive you. And we are going to get you for one of our season reviews. For those of you that are watching our season reviews on a Thursday, I'm going to give it a plug, 8:00. And this, what are we doing this week, Milesy? Remind me, what season?
93-94, back in the big time.
93-94, back in the Premier League.
Nerve of you plugging something on your own channel, Gatesy. The absolute nerve of you.
Why not? I'm allowed to. Pays the bills.
And the return of the Duke.
And the return of the Duke, absolutely. Unless he's sort of like up to his elbows in sort of pot wash.
Going to the pub and dragging him if he isn't.
Yeah, no, that's a fair point. Hey, I'll tell you what, and I'm gonna put this up because I can. I've got the buttons. I can press it, and I will put these up when we do the season review, because this was actually meant to go on last season's season review, which was 92-93 when we got promoted. Have a feast of those. Look at this.
That's class, man.
That is the newspaper cutting from the Cambridge United game when we won 2-0. And if you haven't seen it, go back and watch it and watch the commentary that I do for the Cambridge game. It's crap, but it's my crap. So there you go. And this one here as well, another little newspaper cutting from the same game. That's David Speedy in a pair of Y fronts. My God. What does he look like?
You can't lose from your mind quickly, isn't it?
Yeah. Tell me about it.
Kevin Keane don't look any different, does he?
No, I don't think he's aged.
No,
It's
yeah,
ridiculous. I'd like to know what he's on. But right, before I wrap it up, gentlemen, and obviously thank you for your efforts. Those of you that have been watching this for a while know. Now I'm going to get rid of that. Know what's coming next. So this young lady, Isla Caton, needs our help. I'm going to go full screen here, gentlemen. I hope you don't mind. Just a little bit of impact. So this young lady, she is suffering with neuroblastoma. She is 6 years of age, if you don't know who she is. And she's suffering with this rare form of cancer. Now, there ain't no treatment in the NHS. As fantastic an organisation as it is, and this last year, I think we can all appreciate it even more. But there's no treatment for this little girl in this country on the NHS. So, to save her life, she's got to jump on a plane with her family, get carted across the world, get this experimental treatment that hopefully is going to save her life. Flights, accommodation, living costs, treatment, bills in the UK are still coming in. So this family needs our help. So on there, on this banner, and it's in the description below the video, is the PayPal and the Just Giving links that you can put a couple of quid in this tin. No donation is too small. Anything will be accepted from £1 upwards. Thank you very much indeed. We would also ask you to copy and paste this to your social media platforms, your Facebook, your Twitter, your Instagram. Put it onto your WhatsApp, send it to your friends, send it to your family, send it to your work colleagues, send it to that strange woman that's got 20 cats that lives down the road and she stinks of piss. Send it to the geezer that lives across the way. He took your lawnmower 5 years ago, and every time you see him now, he won't make eye contact with you, and he sort of like he ducks down. Send it to him as well. I don't care. Because the truth of the matter is, guys, with every day that goes past where this little girl hasn't got the treatment she needs to say, then her chances grow ever more grim. That's the reality. I wish I could paint it another way, but if she doesn't get the treatment that she needs, then this story doesn't have a happy ending. So, if there's anything that you can put in the pot, anything at all, and I appreciate these last 12 months have been bad for us all, but this family have had it an awful lot more worse than you can imagine. So if there's anything that you can put in the pot, please. And this is from the entire West Ham YouTube community, not just me, not just Duke, not just Andy, not just Falls from Iron. Everyone, we're all behind this campaign. So please, let's come together and let's get the job done. Thank you very much indeed for your attention. So I would like to thank my guests, Steve 50. Thank you very much indeed for your attendance.
Thank you, Gatesy. Always a pleasure.
Always a pleasure, likewise. Also, to the genius from the Kildare in Ireland, Cathal McKernan, thank you for coming. And your new haircut.
It's very flattering to call me that, but I'll take it. Thank you very much. Thanks for having me.
And also to my co-pilot and wingman substitute, Mr. Andy Miles.
Thanks a lot, mate. It's good to be back and feeling really positive, and we can't wait to do the review show when we win.
Fantastic, brilliant. We just in case anybody's wondering, we are going to do a post match for the West Brom game, but at the minute we're not too sure whether we're going to do it immediately after or whether we're going to do it the following day. It's still all up in the air at the minute, but we'll put it out, and as soon as we made a decision, and again, how the best way to know is subscribe to the channel, as it says on the banner that I just put up, and I'll do it again to drop a massive hint. like the video, subscribe to the channel, hit the bell icon, and as and when we go live or notified, and you can look at it and go, that's a load of crap, and move on. No, I'm only joking. No, you can look at it and go, oh, that's really informative, and all the rest of it. And as you can see on the ticker at the bottom, you've got a Twitter page, you've got Facebook, Instagram, and obviously the YouTube channel. Please subscribe. Please subscribe. Please, 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 please. Thank you. Guys, I'm going to wrap it up there. Thank you very much indeed. Steve and Cathal, if you can sign us out with Come On You Irons.
1, 2, 3. 1, 2,
Come on, you
3.
Irons.
Come on, you Irons.
Milesy, your sign out.
We are fucking massive.
Indeed, ladies and gentlemen. Thanks for coming. Stay safe. Come on, you Irons.